There's a big review into how workers in the so-called gig economy are treated, which is calling for them to have more rights and better conditions as well. Radio 5 Live's Colletta Smith is with us today. We're speaking to the author of the report earlier on, Colletta. You've got more on this, though.
Yeah, we're looking at how businesses are responding to that. Morning, everyone. The government's asked Matthew Taylor, who's the head of the Royal Society of Arts and a former advisor to Tony Blair, to look at modern working practices 9 months ago, and he'll be making his recommendations later on this morning. It's all to do with the rise in people working as things like couriers and drivers, or offering services on an ad hoc basis, but often for quite big companies. Well, Jennifer O'Donnell runs a cleaning firm. She contributed to the report, and I'm very pleased to say she's with us this morning. Hi there, Jennifer.
Hello, good morning.
So all of the cleaners that work for you are technically employees, so you pay them a little bit more. Is that more difficult to compete with other companies who don't?
Yes, well, I started the business 4 years ago, and when I started, I felt very strongly that all of my workers should be employed. I think if you go to work every day, you need to make sure that you're protected and that you have employment rights, so you have the right to sick pay and holiday pay, but also that you have the right to grievance and you have health and safety training. So it was extremely important to me that all of those factors were a part of their working life. But unfortunately, what it means, particularly I own a commercial and domestic cleaning company, so the domestic side of the business, there is a huge black market economy where there's lots of cash transactions. So workers will just be going into people's homes on recommendation. But also we're up against the new kind of gig economy, which is digital platforms that link customer to consumer. And also agencies, which I call grey market, because they often subcontract an unregulated workforce. And both the black market, grey and gig economy can keep their costs down because they don't have all of these additional employment costs.
Well, given all those difficulties, you contributed to this report. Are you happy with it? Has it gone far enough, do you think, this Taylor report?
It's good to see that it's a very positive step that cash transactions are going to be looked at. My concern is that culturally, in certain sectors, it is so acceptable to do a cash transaction, and culturally we just think that's an okay thing to do. So how that can be enforced will be interesting. I'm also very interested in the point about dependent contractors and creating a new category. That's very interesting for me because it seems as though there's a category there that are going to be able to operate and still keep some costs out of their business. But because they're offering flexibility to their workers, they are going to be able to still kind of work in a kind of self-employed way.
Lots and lots of issues to work through. Thanks very much, Jennifer O'Donnell, for joining us this morning to talk about that thorny issue of 0 hours contracts and how we work in the future.
Yes, and very interesting to talk about that change of culture as well. Thank you both. Thank you.